KJ's with us. What you saying, bro?
Terry, you know I don't do beef in it. You know me, I'm a very calm guy in it. But man, them wanted to come after you over you coming for Spurs, over not believing Spurs are going to be the best thing since sliced bread, over thinking Arsenal are better than Spurs. It came for you. All right, chat to us nicely, my brother. Chat to Terry nicely. Chat to football terrorists nicely, my brother. Cancel us what, bruv? Go cancel yourself, man. Go in your pits and start crying because your team is ass. Right. I don't normally do beef, but my brother was annoying me and I've been keeping it calm all flipping week. Listen, that performance was beautiful. Absolute domination. Absolute domination. And I have not seen that at Old Trafford for so long. To see it today against a team like Spurs, who are saying they're going to come and counter us, do Conte ball, do all of that nonsense. Yo, listen, this is called bold egg ball, fam. Egg ball. My bold manager, bro. He knew what he was doing from day dot, and we did not stop. They could not play any football. They could not get out their half for most of the game. And this is the football that we wanted to see. And people, United fans, not just rivals can say what they want, they're rivals. But you got United fans, start the game. Oh, why is he not starting Ronaldo? Oh, this guy is an amateur. Oh, this guy is crap. Ten Hag out, bro, already after 10 flipping games in the Premier League. This is why people need to shut their dirty mouths and let the man do what he's doing. He's got a game plan. He's got a way of playing, and we're building that. We're not going to get that after flipping 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months of having him as the manager. Give him the time. You can clearly see what he wants to do. Look at the players he brought in. Casemiro, absolutely world class. Lissandro Martinez, that man said, 5'9", he can't work in the Prem, bruv. Harry Kane, pocketed, bruv. In the pocket of the butcher. World-class Champions League man next to him, looking like the Rolls Royce that he is. Yeah, Jess, you're smiling because you called him cracked. He ain't cracked now, baby. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm absolutely happy with this performance because everyone likes to chat crap on us.
You know what? I'll tell you another crazy conversation that's happened this year. Viewers, get your heads around this. When Casemiro was being slowly bled in, the word was, I knew he wasn't a Ten Hag player. I knew Ten Hag didn't want him. My response was this. Go back and look at how slowly the likes of Fabinho were bled in to the Liverpool team. Konate, I know he's been injured this year, but last season slowly bled into the team. That's sometimes the approach of particular managers, to slowly bleed them in. And we're now seeing the best version of Casemiro. We are seeing the Real Madrid, the 4-5 times Champions League winning Casemiro start to deliver. If he'd have been rushed in first game, not fully fit, not quite sharp, not up to speed with his style, that could have started him off in a bad place and in a bad trajectory. The reason Anthony started straight away is because Anthony knows how the manager wants football to be played.
He's also younger, energetic. Like people need to stop trying to do up, I know better than Ten Hag because I'm a fan and he's managing the flipping Eredivisie. Like, stop. Like, I'll say it now, yeah? I don't care. Ten Hag is a world-class coach. He's a world-class coach, and we need to just let him do what he's doing. Like, because we may not finish top 4, but this whole talk of we're going to finish 10th, foolishness. I said it. If we miss out on top 4, it's not going to be like 10, 15, 20 points that people don't want it to be. It will be like 5, 3, 2. Like, we are building to something that is looking like it can go on and do something. If we can go and win the Europa League, beautiful. If we can go and win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup on the way, beautiful. But people need to stop speaking on Ten Hag's name. Stop speaking crap on our players because you're so used to negativity. Stop. Let them do what they're doing. Rashford today, wonderful performance in my opinion. He didn't get the goal, but that's the Rashford we love. Driving up players, taking shots, making chances happen. He almost had a nice assist come through as well. Bruno offside. And then flipping Bruno Fernandes. People love to chat about him so much. My dad don't like him. I'm just trying to be like, all right, cool. Like, I get why. I get why. He's ugly. His goal today was sick, but it was so unorthodox, the technique. But let Ten Hag work with him. He's basically the vice captain for a reason. He's the first name on the t-shirt for a reason. Let him do what he's doing. If by the end of the season he's out the team, he's out the team. But if we are moving forward and he's at the center of it, listen, just be quiet. United fans need to be quiet. Enjoy the ride and let's see where I go on. Stop the negativity, man. I'm tired of it. Every single day crying about something. Let it go. Beautiful, beautiful performance today.
I hear you. It absolutely was, mate. KJ, we'll speak again soon, bro. Chat to you in a bit. Top man. Thank you. Another super chat I want to go to here before the next call. Spurs fans wonder why we roast them. This is why, is what David has got to say. Big up, Terry. I just want to beat you guys this weekend. And Jess, please cook Tottenham, please. What JJ Bridge has got to say. I'm looking forward to playing Chelsea now this weekend after today's win. There's no doubt. We'll see you there, my friend. Comment. This is from Original Base Annie. Top up, big up yourself, bro. He says, Conte, United showed today they are much better than us. I consider United a really good team. Big up Jess and Terry. Yeah, look, they're going to say that because what people are going to start to do to Man United, especially if we beat Chelsea, is they're going to start to apply unnecessary pressure.
I will be the first one.
I know you will. You're
That's
all going to do
game.
it. And it's why Man United fans have got to stay strong and not get too giddy here. Half of these people are saying 6th at best, maybe 8th. Remember Boovy on the football terrace said, lucky to be top 10. So if we are 4th on Saturday, we should celebrate where we are, be happy with the progression, but still remain very level-headed. And if any rival says, oh, you must be top 4 contenders now, say, I'm not saying anything until you admit we're better than you. Make them do the talking. Make the rival say, I was wrong. I apologize. You are better than my team. Don't you do it. Let them do it. Be smart. Think ahead. Comment here says, KJ, simmer down. Spurs get battered everywhere. There you go. Shout out to you, Terry, for being unbiased with your thoughts and reviews. Seeing the results today gives me belief that respect is now truly due for Arsenal at the top, 4 points and counting. It's been saying it for a while. Like, people are very rattled for a reason by Arsenal. There's no doubt about it, but they've been brilliant this year. Honestly, if Arsenal got Martinez, scary. Like, we had a legitimate fight over this not long ago, Jess and I, because I still think that he would have ended up playing in a centre-back role for Arsenal. Imagine him and Saliba at Arsenal. It just impenetrable.
He would have been playing left back, but
he would have eventually moved into that role because you can't deny how good he is at centre-back.
I mean, yeah, but he still would have been playing left back for us.
Not forever. You know, when Vincent Kompany signed for City, he came as a DM stroke midfielder. It's where he played more predominantly. He ended up being one of the best centre-backs in EPL history. Yeah. That's going to be Lissandro.
But I feel like, okay, well, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to do it with you because you
know you got nowhere to go. You just know he's better than Gabriel. Yes or no? I told you he's a better defender, didn't I? We had that debate on the straight facts. You ready to admit you were wrong yet?
No.
KJ, not KJ. Igal's on now, people. Igal is here. He's going to have some smoke, isn't he?
Back to live. Back to reality. I told you guys this was unsustainable. Let's go! I told you guys this was unsustainable. And how many times did I tell you guys you can't continue to do this against better opposition? You're going to get found out. And today, Antonio Conte got found out again. This was a pitiful performance. Disgusting performance. Utter embarrassment. You guys call yourself a top 6 team. You went to Manchester United away and you acted like what Stoke would have done back in the day. That was embarrassing. And Antonio Conte, you know what he did, Terry? 60th minute, he put his feet up and he said, this game's over. He said, this game's over. I'm going to put on my bench. I'm going to get ready for the next game in the league. What's your excuse now? You said, Arsenal got Arsenal got humbled by Manchester United. You guys got obliterated by Manchester United. And you know what? I'm not even here to make jokes about anything else about Man United. Man United did amazing. You guys did a great job. But Tottenham, you guys were utter embarrassment today. And this just shows that you cannot play the way you play against every team. You're going to have to find other solutions. And guess what? Playing this, you know what they said to me, Terry? Antonio Conte lost to Arsenal in the Chelsea season, changed his formation, and the rest was history. I guess the rest was history, guys. I guess the rest was history. because you guys aren't winning no league this year. Let's be real. You guys aren't winning no Champions League. You guys think you're going to actually do something. You guys thought you won the transfer window. And you know what? You thought you were building something special. You know what? You're building something average. That's what it is. And everyone keeps talking about 2 injuries away. Guess what? You guys got 2 injuries, and it looks like your squad depth's not that deep either. Because they were talking about how deep they had a squad depth. They were talking about how good their squad depth was. They were talking about how this team is not prepared to push on. I don't want to hear it. Tottenham, you guys get battered everywhere you go. It's the same old story every single year. And you know what? You guys, anybody who comes on here and makes an excuse, that is utter pathetic. As a fan, you should go and look at that performance and say to yourself, it's not good enough.
Igal, could you please give us another rendition of Back to Life?
No, it only comes out.
One more time.
No. You can replay it.
Listen, top man for coming on and having your say. I appreciate it, bro. We'll speak again soon. Top man Igal. Listen, he's obviously having a little bit of fun. I know some people can't take banter, but it's got to be done. Blaze here says, I love the chest from all the United fans. Same thing happened against City. All the noise all week just to get slapped by Potter ball. Pause.
That's such a massive game because, I mean, Chelsea, they did so much to try to, not so much, but they tried to rest players. They didn't beat Brentford. So now they still have to go strong against United. They're at home, so they should feel confident. But another really big game around the corner as well is Spurs versus Newcastle. Newcastle is inching closer and closer towards the top 4. And depending on what happens with Chelsea and Man United, I think they could actually go top 4 with a win against Spurs.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Newcastle win, they get 21 points. So if Man United and Chelsea draw and Newcastle beat Spurs, Newcastle will go into the top 4 as well. Yeah, and then you've got Liverpool now, 2 wins from 2, coming up from the back, looking dangerous. I mean, again, it was a weird game tonight for Liverpool. I'm still not convinced they've turned the corner. West Ham should have equalised. They had a penalty. I think it was Sionchu threw on goal, and Milner's block. I mean, Milner saving their bacon. They're still getting opened up, Liverpool. So I'm still not convinced as of yet that they've completely turned the corner. Chelsea have looked very good under. I think with Chelsea, I think the reason that Chelsea dropped points tonight was simply and utterly because they resting Sterling, resting Aubameyang. But that could pay dividends on Saturday with those players being fresher than our guys. You know, our guys went and played hard for 90 minutes. Yeah, maybe the last 20 minutes we were playing within ourselves and we were kind of resting and recuperating. It's going to be a big game.
I want to see carnage. I don't want to see any nicey.
I think he's going to be carnage. Dan here says, if we beat Chelsea, we go 4th with no top 9 team to play until next year. Big opportunity. Well, I think, Dan, this is what's interesting for Man United. We've had a lot of hard games already this season. We've played so many big teams. I feel like we haven't played a lot of the teams that are underperforming yet. Not a lot of them. I know we've played Leicester, but that's about it. I'd have to go back and look.
No, you played Brentford.
Brentford are a decent team, aren't they? Yeah, no one would say Brentford away isn't. Brentford away is not Bournemouth.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got a decent opportunity to keep progressing. Keep progressing. Right, next on the show, it's so hard to pick because there's so many people. I'm going to
Daniel.
Chelsea Daniel. We're gonna get Chelsea Daniel on there. Chelsea fan on. What you saying, bro? Unmute.
How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
Good, mate. I'm over the moon, mate. Beat Tottenham. Happy days.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're lucky you didn't have anyone really with hair for their defenders to pull in the last minute. So it was all great. Do you know what I mean? But no, I'm good. I don't know why you guys think I should be sad. Look, I think
points.
Go on.
That's right. You dropped points.
Wait, what?
You dropped points.
Oh no. Look, you have to remember.
Yeah, you did.
You dropped points.
You did.
Yeah, you didn't win.
You dropped points. I love this tag team. It's good. But yeah, we dropped points. But I think on reflection, when you look at the table and you just look at how everything's going, like if we win on Saturday, you take the point that we managed to get at Brentford, especially considering the fact that when we did bring on our substitutes, we looked so much better. We had late chances to win the game. I think it was promising that Carney Chukwuemeka came on and gave you a positive cameo Oba came on and looked really good. Pulisic came on and looked really good. So I wouldn't stress. But then again, everything flips on its head if we go on and lose to Man United. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, we should have got the points at Brentford. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have a safety net. So I don't know I haven't been on Twitter yet, so I don't know what the kind of the consensus is and how we're playing or how everything is in terms of the result. But I think
I guess my biggest question for you would be, are you scared of Man United?
Scared? No.
Yeah.
I'm not
Are you
scared of any.
scared?
I'm not scared of any team in the Premier League. I'll be so honest to you.
Man's gonna have that up all week.
Okay, from what you saw, United are starting to piece things together. Their
Yes,
players are starting to work.
I can't be because I'm even surprised Terry hasn't mentioned when I was last on the top 6 show. I was the one who said that. Why is everyone on Man United? Because when you look at the form table, I believe they're like third. Only Chelsea in the last 5 games have a better record because I know we've won 4 and drawn 1, so that was the game today. So only Chelsea and I believe it is Arsenal have a better record in the last 5 games than Man United. So I was even the one saying that people are over exaggerating this, Man United, that. Maybe in game you see there are moments of weakness that Man United may have where you can get at them. But they've managed to get results. They've managed to plug in the guys that they want to plug in. Anthony looks like a good player. Casemiro is slowly acclimatizing to the league. So, but worried? No, I'm not worried because I believe Man United are there to be got at. I do believe that Tottenham played within themselves, but that's been them all season. The Brighton win, the Chelsea draw, the Wolves win. There have been multiple results this season where Tottenham have been awful, dreadful, in fact. And look, we're seeing it where the Tottenham fans are now beginning to say, what did you expect? It's Antonio Conte. Let me tell you now, when you really want to do hindsight 2020, for a Champions League team, that window was dross. That was a terrible window. Richarlison's played 9 games and scored 0 goals. No one's talking about that. Kulusevski, who's supposed to be the next young potential sliced bread, whatever he's supposed to be, hasn't looked great. I mean, Son had that hat-trick and everyone thought it was all happy days, but he's not been great this season either. I mean, Yves Bissouma, he was supposed to be one of the next big centre mids. I know Arsenal were even looking at him and Tottenham were thinking that's a big coup. And he can't get Jed Spence, my guy, but he can't even get a game. So, we can't, what's it called? Basically just change how everything looks on the landscape of things. But scared? No, Man United don't scare me. I think they're doing well. Ten Hag is doing well and he's getting comfortable. But Man United, I'm far from scared of Man United.
Chelsea's probably one of the Chelsea away and Liverpool away are the 2 games it's funny. People keep saying to me, why are you so scared of everybody? And I'm like, it's actually a bit of a joke, really. It's like everyone gets scared before. I know about 10 minutes off on Saturday, every Chelsea fan and Man United fan goes, no. That's all I mean by it, really.
Okay.
It's been a horrible place for Man United to go.
We haven't beaten you in 5 years.
Yeah, mate, but you're talking, I'm 36 years old, mate. I have the amount of times, mate, we used to go there when you boys were average and you'd beat us. Gianfranco Zola, that little hobbit, I love him because he's a star, but I hate him at the same time. I'd love to tell him to his face. I love and hate you, Zola. He killed me. So yeah, I'm still having nightmares for that. But that's going to be a big game, and I'm sure we're going to preview it later on in the week, my friend. I wanted to ask you very quickly, quick thoughts on Broja. First start, do you feel like he's going to be good enough for Chelsea?
I think he's going to be good enough to be a backup striker. I think he's very, very raw. Like, he's so raw. You'll see him do something amazing, and then he'll do something like just out of the ordinary and just bug out and completely loot. Like, composure was his biggest problem today. Like, it was almost as if he got into the position to score, and you know when you get so excited and you just get like that burst of energy that goes into you, that rush of blood, and like he literally did so well to beat me with his pace, got in behind, got tackled, but then stood up straight away, and all he needed to do was roll the ball over to Mount, and it would have been an easy tap in for Mount, and he just tries to dribble again and then ended up crossing. But look, he's raw, man, and look, Potter, he might get some criticism for the amount of rotation that he did today, but again, like I said, when we do preview it later on in the week, if we do win against Man United, it changes the whole thing. So
There we go. Daniel, top man for coming on, bro. We'll chat
Yes.
again soon, I'm sure. All the best, mate. Thank you. Like, obviously, Daniel was missing for a while because moved house, no Wi-Fi. It does take a while. It does take a while. I had to wait 3 weeks for Wi-Fi to be installed before. It's absolutely crazy. Super chat here says, I love the way Arsenal fans are talking trash. Do something first, then we talk till then we hold our horses. My brother Igal will never learn.
Or live in the moment and have
You
fun.
gotta live in the moment sometimes. Like, you know, if Igal's wrong, do you know nothing about Igal's life changes? He's still got a job. It's not like Igal. If you get this wrong, your wife starts to live with another man and you lose half your pay. Like, it's not the end of the world if you get something wrong. Listen, and I get what you're saying, but I'm a bit like you. I like to keep my powder a little bit dry. But if the Terrace didn't have people like Igal, we wouldn't be where we are. We need fans to be fans, and we need a variety. Variety is the spice of life. That's how I used to live. My last super chat was about Ronnie walking off. I want to ask you, actually. Question for the viewers as well. Are Man United a better team without Cristiano Ronaldo playing?
Okay. Yeah. I think we knew that kind of like last season, but it was just you guys were so bad and he could score goals that it skewed everything. Of course, you guys are a better team without him because you see players like Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, I think in particular, that shine when Ronaldo is not there. And they're two of your most important players. And so it's not that I think Cristiano Ronaldo is amazing still, but you need that balance and you need players. Some players want to be the leaders out there. They want to be the focal point, and you can't be the focal point if you have Cristiano Ronaldo out there on the pitch. So it's been expired now. Like, Cristiano Ronaldo should have been gone in the summer. Couldn't find somewhere for him to go, but it's done. And I think at this point, like when you see Man United fans celebrating the win, not really caring about him stomping down, into the tunnel, you're turning the page on this. Because does anybody really care? You won.
Well, and this is the thing. Like, you see the comment there that it'll be dealt with tomorrow by Ten Hag, but this is the thing, right? I think there's a conflict here of generations. I'm of the generation where your club becomes before any player ever. As much as I love and respect what Ronaldo has done in football, and more so what he did for Man United in his younger years, if my team's improving and him being out of the team is part of it, I couldn't give a monkeys. I don't care. I couldn't care less. It doesn't take away how great he's been. And I still see people say, do you think it's right that he didn't come on today? Yes, because he didn't need to come on. Maybe we're going to need him against Chelsea. So why bring him on for 10 minutes and waste 10 minutes of those legs that have got very little left in them when you might need him in 3 or 4 days' time against Chelsea? Maybe it's 1-1 going into the last 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes against tired legs, Ronaldo's going to be maybe a little bit more impactful in the game. But for me, Man United are a superior footballing team when Ronaldo is not on the football pitch, because he can't press like Rashford. He doesn't run in behind like Rashford. He doesn't stress the defense like Rashford because he's too old to. What he's better than Rashford at is scoring. And even now, I think if he gets into his flow, he'd score more goals than Rashford, because Rashford is nowhere near Ronaldo's level at scoring. However, we don't create those opportunities. All the best chances against Newcastle came when we took Ronaldo off. It's just frustrating that the balls were falling to the players that are not as clinical as Ronaldo, in his pomp. And it's what needs to happen, Someone here says Rashford doesn't press. It's a myth. Mark, I respect you as a member, but Rashford was pressing tonight. I saw it with my own eyes, my friend. He really, really did. There's still loads of calls to go through. We are talking multiple teams tonight, so stay with us. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Next on the show, Canadian Cam is here with us. What are you saying? We're going to go. We've got Tottenham fans are here. Young Daniel's here. Orchie's here. We've got Jinky. United Sauce and much more to come. Tom Little as well. But Canadian Cam's here. What are you saying, mate?
Oh, it feels so good. Yeah, I'm going to get excited. I'm not doing this whole hold it. I'm not keeping my powder dry, whatever that means. One thing I want to address real quickly. You touched a black woman's hair and you're still standing. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I don't know why Jess let that.
I mean, I'm trying to be professional.
That's a violation, dog. It's a violation.
Listen, I'm not sorry.
But let's get into you were just talking about Rashford. Let's talk about it. That I feel so that kid deserved a goal today. He worked his ass off. People were coming on to him saying he should have scored the first one. I don't get this world where people say it was a miss. I'm like, it was a save. He hit it first time, drove it low away from the keeper. That was a great save. Like, there's moments where it's just like, that's just what it is. It's just what it is. I get the notion of people like, oh, he could have had time. If Rashford took a touch and missed, you know what we would have heard? Should have hit it first time. So let's get off the kid's back. He's getting in the right spaces. He's getting the opportunities. He's going to get the goals. Like, you're talking about, are we a better team without Ronaldo? The answer is yes, simply yes. I was saying throughout that game, I'm like, that's it. Ronaldo shouldn't start against a top 6 team for the rest of the year, plain and simple, in any big game where we want to play the way we played today. Today was the best I've seen United play in 5+ years. Like, the best. Like, I was excited. I'm sitting there watching this pass and close corners, close control. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I didn't know these men had it in them. I was like, I literally thought half of this team couldn't pass anymore from what I saw last year. And legit, what we saw today, even, I get it, Bruno had some wasteful moments, but he had some great moments where he just made the simple pass. You saw Fred, you saw Casemiro, the right calls for the ball. And then let's talk about Antony real quick, because Antony, thank you, Liverpool, for buying Darwin Núñez, because at the end of the day, that's where the money would have gone. We wouldn't have gotten Antony. Antony was the player we needed. That electric right winger, we have not had that since Ronaldo before. Like, a player who can just, the intensity he plays with. You understand why Ten Hag was like, I'm not starting this season until that guy's on my team, because the way he presses, the way, even when he made that turn and he sent both the Tottenham guys back to wherever and then turned and just, he had that little like move, that little dance about him, that little samba, you could feel the energy in him. Like, you could just feel it. And he was just like, yo, I'm coming at you. We haven't had that for years.
He's just got to work on that right foot a little bit.
He had no right
mate,
foot.
if he develops that right foot, we've already got a very good player. That is when he could become world class. Yeah. Because there's times where I was in the first 2 or 3 games, I was like, is this guy not actually got any pace? And then you realize it's just he doesn't want to run in a certain direction because he doesn't want to be on his right foot. There's even a time when the ball got overhit and you had to use your right foot to try and scoop it back. And he did some weird thing with his left foot. And he's got a lot of work, but there is a rawness, there is talent there. And he's got like an Iron Robin type shot when he cuts in on that left-hand side he has. You spoke about talking with chest. Are you getting the feeling that this Man United team could challenge for the top 4 this year? There wasn't a lot of hope at the beginning of the season, but how do you feel about that now, Cam?
100%. So I remember when I did my prediction, I said, if we get Frankie de Jong, we'll challenge for the top 4. We then got Casemiro. It's obviously taken some time to see what Casemiro is going to add to this team and how Ten Hag was going to use him, because he's using him different than how he's going to use Frankie. There's one thing I'm really impressed with Ten Hag right now is he's clearly adjusting left, right, and center. Like, he's not playing like what all he did was every time we knew the same thing was going, whether it was square pegs, circle, and round circles. You know what I'm saying? He's clearly changed how we're playing. When Scott's on the pitch, we play different than when Casemiro's on the pitch. When Fred's on the pitch, we play different than when Eriksen's on the pitch. And that, for me, is why we will now challenge, because I'm seeing a coach who saw what Conte was going to do, countered it, and did his thing. Look at Art. Like, I've had to hold my hands up about Arteta, saying like I wasn't sure if he was the right coach. He clearly is, but Ten Hag knew what to do against him. He knew what to do. Like, Arsenal had all the possession; they outplayed us per se, but we knew we weren't going to play with them on the day. So Ten Hag, game by game, is showing that he's very, very malleable, and I think that's what you need to challenge for the top 4 in this league. You like with the managers that he's beaten, with Klopp, with Arteta, like these guys are top managers now. You talk about even Eddie Howe is a great manager. Like the Prem is not a league you can go in there and play one style. You have to be able to switch it up, and we're seeing that with Ten Hag, and it's so nice to see a team that's playing football. Like today, the last few games we've been playing football. People were talking about Man United countering and sitting back. Like, no, it's clear that he's getting his guys. This is going to take a while. I'm not saying we are the finished article. We are far from it. We're not near right now. We still have a ways to go to catch Arsenal, which hurts me to say because they've had years to do it. We still have miles to catch City, but we're seeing us catch Tottenham. And I said it earlier when you're like, you said on one of the last shows, you're like, you still think Chelsea is kind of a lock for the top 4. And I question that. And I'm going to question that right now. I do not think Chelsea is a lock for top 4. And we're going to find out this weekend if they are, because if we go into their gap and we handle shit, all of a sudden that top 4 is open.
It's making me so upset.
Bro, what
like
do you want from me, Jess? You always what you say.
I
Look
don't
at
like
You
moment.
know, like, you can just tell that, mate. Listen,
Chelsea, do something on the weekend. They're too gassed.
Listen, and I'm sure a lot of Man United fans will feel like that as well, and that's why we need the variety of fans on. Listen, Cam, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, bro. Top man. Thank you. Up next, we're taking a call from young Daniel. He's a Spurs fan. I think he predicted yesterday or tweeted me today 6-1 Spurs or something along those lines.
That was years ago.
What are you saying, bro?
Listen, I'm in the mud. Yeah. I mean, going on the performance, 28 shots. 28 shots is disgraceful. But what I was most embarrassed about this performance is the fact that after conceding a goal, we didn't go at Man United. We let them come at us. When they scored the first goal, when you guys scored the first goal, Man United, it looked like you guys were 1-0 down. You guys were chasing a goal. There was no ambition. The mentality was the problem today. Terrible. And if you're blaming Antonio Conte, personally for me, he made one mistake, and that was starting Perisic over Sessegnon. Anthony is a quality player. You cannot play an old man against Anthony. Sessegnon should have played today. But other than that, I mean, if you want to see midfield 2 and 3 up top, who are we going to play in the right wing? We don't have a right winger. Kulusevski and Richarlison are injured. What are we going to do? Play a centre back at right wing? Like, come on. Fans need to wake up and stop saying Conte out, please, man. If you want, this one game is not based in anything this season. Come on. It's one game. If you were ever saying a title race, which I was not saying, and now because of this game, you're saying, oh, no title race, that's a little bit reactionary. And that's what a lot of Spurs fans are, is reactionary. If you're saying Conte out, you are reactionary. Terrible performance. Probably the most disgraceful performance we've had under Antonio Conte. But looking at the overall picture of the season, if you predicted a title race, then you should stick to that prediction, because this one game should not change your prediction.
What was your score prediction? I just want to go back to that, bro.
Terry, you talk a lot about banter. That was banter. Like, my actual score prediction was 3-1 to Spurs.
I know it was banter, mate. I know it was only a joke, my friend. No, I get that. And listen, I agree with you. I think Spurs fans calling out Antonio. This is the irony. I state that I think a lot of Spurs fans will turn on him. That isn't because I want it to happen as a football fan. I think Spurs fans turning on Antonio Conte are stupid, because he's the best manager your club has had since Bill Nicholson.
Yeah.
Never, in my opinion, if he leaves at the end of this season because your club lacks ambition, you ain't getting a better manager than him.
100%. And the fans saying Pochettino, just...
Poch ain't better than him. Poch ain't won anything.
Mate, Terry, if you've actually gone on Spurs Twitter, like, and the thing is that this is the stupidity on the fans that's saying Conte out. We've been to, like, 3 managers in the space of 3 seasons, but the fans don't realize that the problem is the players. So you're just gonna stupidity. Idiotic. He is not noticing that you're making the same mistake over and over and over again, and just continuing to make it and expecting different results. Come on, like, you have to at one point notice that this ain't the managers. I understand Nuno is a terrible manager; he should have never been appointed. But this is not on Conte. Yes, sometimes he can make a mistake, but if you're saying Conte out, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and think about it. Think about everything again, mate.
But listen, I get the frustration in your voice, and it's good to see someone backing their manager. There's no doubt about that. Dan, really appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. I'm back in Tottenham tonight, and we'll speak again soon, bro.
Peace.
Top man, thank you. Tom Littlewell, now Liverpool fan. Of course, Liverpool won tonight. Obviously, a small story, really. In big Man United won. Liverpool got the victory though tonight, didn't they, Thomas?
Wow. Yes, we did, and it wasn't anywhere near as good as Man City, but I'm not bothered about performances now. I just need to start getting points on the board and consistent ones. I thought we were very good in the first half. For the first 42 minutes, up until Joe Gomez decides he wants to try and karate kick Jared Bowen, I thought we were fantastic. I thought this was a really big game for Darwin Núñez. I thought he was so dangerous. On another day, he's got a hat-trick. On another day, that left foot half volley from the edge of the box flies into the top corner. It just weren't his day. He still got his goal. I thought he was fantastic throughout the game until he had to go off with a little hamstring issue. The substitutions were what really let us down, but I was expecting that. We've got so many games coming up and our squad's so thin that I'm expecting Klopp to start pre-planning the substitutions now. So seeing Thiago go off, seeing Carvalho go off, seeing Nunes go off. I think it's supposed to be set.
You mean that in terms of irrespective of the score?
Regardless of them three were our best players. Them three on that pitch were the three best outfielders that we had. You could argue Firmino was in there as well. Taking them off gave West Ham all the control because the players that came on didn't do their job. They were really put. Fabinho, who done so much good work against Man City, has now undone all that good work with a absolutely shocking last 30 minutes. Declan Rice took it past him 7 times. 7 different times. Fabinho ended up on the floor. Without James Milner, it's 1-1 and it's a completely different story. So praise James Milner.
Mate, James running, he's done something and done some things for you guys. And we were watching the Liverpool game. Obviously, watched the full first half, and then properly, I was watching quite a bit of the second as well. To be fair, and like the way I kind of viewed it was, and I want to make sure I say this in the right way. I think you were good in the first half. In the second, you were rickety. There was still West Ham probably should have scored some goals in that game. There's still a lot of improvements needed, I think, at Liverpool. It wasn't like a flawless performance. Like they scored some goals, you know.
They had 2 good chances. They had the penalty, but we've got the best goalkeeper in the world, so that was no issue. His stats for penalties are ridiculous, which surprised me as well. But should they have scored? They had the chance at the end, which Milner blocked. Apart from that, I don't think they were really stretching us. They were really creating anything dangerous. I thought our centre backs, bar his moments of madness, Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, were good again. Trent for the first half was very good. Second half, he started to switch off a little bit. So thankfully, Harvey Elliott came on to give him that support. It wasn't a fantastic performance, but we're not going to get fantastic performances every game. This was a result that we needed. This was more of a 19-20 result where we took our goal, we took our lead, and then we held them off, and we were actually able to trust our centre-backs and our goalkeeper for the first time this season and not worry about them making a mistake or costing us and being nervous. I know the ground and the atmosphere was a little bit tense in the last 15, but the way the game was going, I wasn't necessarily worried about it. It was just one of them ones, weren't it? It's a weird one. When Jordan Henderson comes out of that game as one of the best performers, that's when he sort of realised how weird of a game it was. But I can't complain. 3 points.
I just want to interject really quickly. I get that. A few people saying, what chances did West Ham have, Terry? And in that logic, Terry, all shots on target, they should have scored. See, again, I'm not talking necessarily about shots. I'm talking about openings. So there was an opportunity twice where Antonio is running through on goal. Now, one of the times he tries a weird step over and nearly broke his own leg, right? Better quality. This is the thing about sustainability. Better quality players can punish you in those scenarios. And it's a case of the reason why United did what they did tonight to Tottenham. They've been allowing it all year, Spurs. Spurs have allowed teams to get in behind them and create chances all season. They didn't let Everton do that, especially in the second half. That's sustainable. Arsenal don't allow very many opportunities against them. That's sustainable. The same as Man City. You can get them a little bit, but not the frequency that I felt West Ham were getting behind your midfield and creating opportunities to create chances. They were poor delivery, but a better quality team will punish you. And Liverpool can still make the top 4. You're still in my top 4 predictions, but you're winning league titles, winning Champions Leagues. Those are the differences in margins for me. So I still think that's really what you got to focus on getting better at.
I don't think I'd agree for the season as a whole, but in this game, I'd only say that happened because Fabinho came on and was so bad that Declan Rice just started to target him, started to isolate him and run past him because Jordan Henderson was very good against Declan Rice. Declan Rice didn't get much joy against Jordan Henderson, and he didn't get much joy against Thiago. In that first half, they had nothing. But in the second half, you bring on Fabinho, Curtis Jones, who that's his first appearance of the season. They just start targeting you and the space starts opening up. But that's where you trust your defence.
There you go. Tom, good win tonight, though, my friend. Top man for coming on, having your say and waiting so patiently. I appreciate it, mate. Speak to you soon. Thank you very much indeed. I had a random message on WhatsApp from someone watching the show right now. Big up yourself, Chris Kane. Chris was one of the original presenters on Fan Park Live with myself and Adam Charles Neeks and Have Hope. I haven't seen him around for a minute, but yeah, I'll chat to you later, bro. Good to catch up. I had a super chat I wanted to read. Harry Kane was pocketed by Lissandro Baggins. He was. Imagine being 6'3" and you got pocketed. That was literally David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Is that a biblical towel, KJ? Is that a biblical towel? Or is that just a towel? It's a biblical towel. It did. He got absolutely ice. Brilliant. I'm so happy. Man United plus Ronaldo equal geriatric FC is what Olu says here. I'm starting to question this Basuma hype. Timid. I wouldn't. He just got done tonight by one of the best DMs in the world. Casemiro is a 5 times Champions League winning central midfielder. The geezer, I mean, you could probably make arguments. He's been in the top 5 DMs of the last quarter of a century in European football with what he's achieved, what he's won. Yes, he had a great team around him, but the guy is an absolute powerhouse. So I wouldn't question Basuma. He just went up against, how do we give an example on this? Ricky Hatton was a world-level boxer, world-class boxer. But when he went up against a prime Mayweather and a prime Pacquiao, who are generational boxers, he just didn't have enough. And that's what you saw tonight. You saw a top-quality player go up against a world-class player, is what I would say there, my friend. So, yeah, good point. But, yeah, I think it's just about Casemiro's brilliance more than anything else. Lucas Moura on the right wing. I didn't mean to click on that, but there we go. Right, who am I going to next? So many more callers to go to here. Tottenham fan Orchie's here. What are you saying, Orchie? You're on mute, brother. Unmute your line. You're just like Tottenham's attack tonight.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll let you enjoy that win tonight, but I have to push back a little bit, dude. I mean, come on. Like your comment just now about Basuma. You make it sound like as if it was Man United that stopped Tottenham. It's actually Tottenham that stopped themselves. The performances tonight were shocking, mate. They were, come on. Even by like Romero was shocking tonight. Dyer was shocking tonight. Ben Davies, as much as I love the guy, when you got a player like Longley, not that Longley's amazing, but I think there's a couple of puzzling things that I would much rather, if Longley's fit, I would much rather Ben Davies. I mean, it's this whole argument again. We haven't come on yet. I mean, we're still in progress. And I agree about Conte. I think I want to defend Conte as well. The guy hasn't even been in the job for a year yet. In November, the guy's going to complete his first year. So some of these Tottenham fans that are calling for his head, it's a fact. I think you were talking about this a couple of days ago after the Everton win. Tottenham have had their best start ever to a Premier League season, in the history of since the Premier League was conceived. So, as you say, he's probably he's definitely the best manager that we've had since, like you say, Bill Nicholson. Yeah.
Question for you.
And to be honest, the players had an absolute shocker tonight. I think I definitely agree. We're missing Richarlison and Kulusevski. He's, and this is not an excuse, but you got to admit, probably since last Christmas, we've had two transfer windows, and I would argue that Kulusevski was the best buy out of all of the players that we've brought in so far. I like Jess because she keeps it real and she's fair. But like people like Igal and stuff, he's going on and on. Sorry, Igal, but your manager, Mr. Super Arteta, had 3 years and £500 million to get to the place where he just got to. Don't forget, you had 2 8th finishes and a 5th finish. So Conte has just been in this job less than a year, and he's only had one and last Christmas half transfer window. Give the guy 3 years and £500 million, and let's see what he does.
Sorry, gotta pull you up there. You don't have 3 years with Conte. You brought him in to win you trophies quick, fast, and in a hurry. I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to
compare apples with apples, Jess.
No, we're comparing apples to oranges because in reality, Tottenham and Arsenal are not on the same planet, and we both know that, right? Arsenal started and completely rebuilt. You guys have to get something out of Son and Kane now, and that's why you guys brought in Conte. So you don't need 3 years. You need to win something this season. And so don't you find it strange that you guys are not performing against the top 6? Does that not concern you?
To be honest, when you say top 6, so far we played Chelsea, obviously you guys. Chelsea, we always lose at Chelsea. You guys, we always lose at you guys. And United, at the end of the day, is still Manchester United and it's still Old Trafford.
Where does all the chess come from then? Before the games, before the matches, there's tons of chess. But if you guys always lose in these games, then why is there chess?
I wasn't one of those Tottenham fans. All I said was that this year, if we're up there, let's be honest, this is after 10 games, 11 games. Like, this is not April, this is not March. If these results were coming in this, we were in this situation, maybe I can understand. But there's a whole more than 2/3 of a season to go. There's a World Cup. And who knows how players are going to come back? Who knows what kind of transfer is going to happen at Christmas? So there's still a lot of season to go. I mean, people are sort of starting writing people off and teams off. I don't agree.
Right? Can I ask you a question, bro?
Yeah.
If it wasn't Man United that made you play badly, are you saying you bottled it?
I wouldn't say. Well, I don't think it was a bottle. It's just like every team has, teams can have a nightmare. I mean, didn't City draw against West Ham? They drew against earlier in the season.
A nightmare tonight. I mean, you didn't create a chance. You couldn't pass a ball. You got pressed off the pitch.
No, I mean, no, it was shocking. Like the performances were shocking. And United, United had a good game. I think. Don't misunderstand me. United did have a good game, and obviously players even like Rashford had a good game. Rashford was really good tonight, I thought. And he's one of the players that gets a lot of criticisms from United fans, right? So I'm saying it wasn't just United playing really well. It was a combination of United played really well, and Spurs players, especially the midfield and the defense, had an absolute shocker tonight. And it was that, but people are making it sound like as if it was, Spurs it was just one of those things.
I hear you. I thought Man United was sensational tonight, and that didn't help you, but definitely, you guys weren't at your best. So, listen, Orchie, always a pleasure to speak, my friend. It's good to see someone coming on, sticking up for their team as well. Top man. And we'll chat again soon. Thank you. United Source on next. Long time no see. What you saying, bro?
What is going on, my brother? Mate, that guy is he's so funny. That they played bad. You having a laugh? We made you play bad, brother. Come on, man. Look. Let's just get to the facts, my brother. Right? Let's get to the facts. Okay. Tottenham. All right. They won against Brighton. They beat Eintracht Frankfurt, hot dog, whatever. And they beat Everton, right? Our history against Spurs, right? Let's go back to it. 6-1, 3-1, 3-0, 3-2, and 2-0. There's only one thing you can say, all right, to every Spurs fan out there. Oh, so you've come to the end of the road. Honestly, I could go on.
You got good voice, bro. I like it.
Honestly, you've come to the end of the road, right? Honestly, I can't tell you how happy I am. And you know why I'm happy? Because there's so many elements of what we did so good there, Terry, right? Listen, I thought about it and I saw Fred and I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. Let me go and get some holy wine because this is going to be serious, right? But Fred did something that Fred's never done before. He played a certain role. When Fred plays a certain role, he's effective. He's properly effective. And I was proud of my team today. At one point, if you watched me in my living room and there was a camera like Big Brother, I was on the sofa, I was on the floor, I tripped over a cup, I tripped over my son's flicking car. I was all over the place because that's what it's supposed to be as a United fan. You got to be up, you got to be down, but you got to see the players work. Casemiro, okay, and no one can say this, I didn't know Casemiro could play that good because when he's at Real Madrid, he's a good player, but you've got other players around him. I didn't know that he was that good. If you look at him, he didn't actually look like a typical footballer. I could say some stuff, but he didn't look like a typical footballer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I saw it. One of the games where he came on as a sub, he had his shirt off. And I was like, he's ripped. Because he doesn't look like he's ripped. He looks like he's got my body, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's what he looks like. He looks I think he looks like a marshmallow, bruv. But he ain't, man's ripped.
Honestly, he's got a touch. If people didn't know he's right-footed, that left foot shot was ridiculous. I've got so much time for Casemiro. I also love Ten Hag's stubbornness. People were saying, why is he playing the same team all the time? Why is he playing Dallo? Why is he playing Fred? Trust in Ten Hag. He knows what he's doing. He wants that cohesion. He wants that rhythm. And if you manage their injury and they manage their body, keep playing them. So I love him. You know what? One thing, though, I do agree with the other people, right? If Kane and Son did play today, it could have been a different match. If they did play, it could have been a completely different match. Yeah. Obviously, they weren't on the pitch today.
They weren't out injured. Yeah.
No. They weren't on the pitch today. What were they playing? Was Son
I
Kane
didn't see
playing? I didn't see him. I don't know. I'll look at the replays. But it could have been a completely different game. Jess, you know what I'm talking about. You saw that little sarcasm there. But De Gea was unreal. The touch, the calmness. I've never seen him play that before in my life, Terry. That was beautiful. He felt like he was a part of the team. You know, when you've got a goalkeeper and you've got the 10 and the 10 players. Sometimes the goalkeeper's just on its own. He's on his little island and the 10 players just playing football. I felt like he was a part of that 11. And that's what it needs to be. If you look at Aaron Ramsdale, you can see kind of one of those things where he's a part of the team. He's high-fiving. He's playing out from the back. That's what I saw from De Gea, which is really, really
I
important.
love you guys using us as a template. I love
Whoa. Easy. Not template.
Slow down.
Not template.
Slow down.
it. I've heard a lot from United fans about how
Oh, God, here we go.
Arsenal did this. Remember, Arsenal did that. It's like music to my ears.
Not a template, but I can see with my eyes. I can see what Arsenal are doing, and I appreciate it. They've still got nothing on us. Anyway, and my last point, right? Ronaldo is crap. I don't care. You know what I keep seeing all the time that really gets to me is that people have to caveat Ronaldo. Why are you caveating it? Well, oh, look, he's my GOAT. I love him. But he's like, no, forget about that bit stuff. I'm talking about now. What are we doing with Manchester United right now? What are we doing to proceed? Look, you can have CEOs that run big businesses that did it 10 years ago. They're not here anymore because the game's progressed, because the company's progressed. We have online, we have digital, we have flicking AI, we have algorithms. Manchester United is not about the past now. It's about what we're going to do in the future. That's why Man City are doing a madness. That's why Liverpool were doing a madness. We need to think about what we're doing. Ronaldo right now is crap. I don't care. I'm not caveating. I don't care that he did so much for us before. Great. I respect that. He's got trophies. He's got money. He's got 17 cars. Fantastic. But for what we need right now, he is not good enough. I've been saying it, and I'll say it for the rest of my life. He is not good enough. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong. You can go to Tesco's and buy a pair of shoes. I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be as good as going to Clark's. It's not good enough. It's just one of those things.
Mate, you're bang on. He's just. Do you know who he reminds me of? You know, like in every Terminator film, the killer Terminator gets better.
This is what I'm saying.
This is what it is, bro. And Ronaldo, in his day, was, in my opinion, the best player Man United have ever had. But he isn't anymore. I love you. Respect what he's done. You know, musicians will go through this, and you see this through their record sales. Every musician has that peak album. Most get worse after that album, and you get 7-8 albums later, and it's like, yeah, you just stop making music now. Or I just want to hear the old stuff. I don't want this.
He's Robbie Williams. He's Robbie Williams.
Legend. But I want to listen to Angels. I don't want to listen to new stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sing it. I can't sing like you, Dom. But, bro, listen, I appreciate you coming on, mate. And that's late. Top man. Speak to you soon.
Take care, man. Peace.
Thank you. Alan's on the show now. Tottenham fan. Oi, Savaloy.
I'm laying the blame tonight, the majority of the blame on one person only, Antonio Conte. So I'm not as going one-sided as he's out. I'm not going as the other side as we have to stick up for him. He's the first 10 or 15 minutes, we were doing all right. 3-5-2, that's fine. We had the ball. We were getting forward and all that. And then it was like a switch had been flicked. And after that, the amount of times I saw 8 players in our own 18-yard box allowing you the ball, I couldn't see Kane or Son in picture. They were literally, there was 20, 30 yards between the two of them. I don't care who you are. Statistically, you can be the best attacking duo in the Premier League. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. When the ball goes up to them and all that against Casemiro, who's up at Martinez, Varane, they're getting nowhere. Yeah. And you allow that to just be absolutely, it's the worst football I've seen us play under Conte. It's even worse than times than what Mourinho was doing. It's like he went to Old Trafford and waved the white flag. And for me, that is absolute BS. You cannot do that. You're meant to be saying that Conte, with the squad you've assembled and all that, don't give a shit about Kulusevski. I don't give a shit about Richarlison being injured and all that. That's no excuse. You've got enough quality in that squad, the squad that you've helped build with Paratici, to play on the front foot, to be able to go away to big games and all that, and be able to play on the front foot and get results. And you do that. You did it against Arsenal. You did it against United. It's certainly not good enough.
Chelsea.
We're lucky we got away with pointing that. You can't then say, the Spurs fans that are going, oh, you can't blame Conte. No, you can. You can also blame the players, because although they're sitting that far back and all that, just common fucking sense. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just absolutely wound me up tonight seeing that absolute BS performance. Kane and Son showed no effort. He bottled it from a 50-50 that led to your first goal. Not good enough. He is embarrassing. I don't care anymore. People go, well, but Sonny's infectious. He's this and the other. No, I'm sorry. He has been absolutely appalling. He needs to be dropped from the squad. It's not good enough. He needs to be put out of the squad, and it might give him a kick out the backside. For me, Harry Kane and all that. Oh, what? Because he was bigger than Martinez, he wanted to throw his weight around, and he got absolutely time and time again. I'm annoyed with that whole entire performance. It was literally boys on the pitch. And I can't believe we allowed Man United, who, I'm sorry, you are there for the taking at times. Your performances, your defence and all that, you can get at United. You can see, by the way, Arsenal went at you, you can get at United. And we just done nothing. We came to Old Trafford to look at your stadium, to what? Talk to the fans in the goal behind us that we were defending for half the game and do absolutely nothing.
Wear those ugly kits. Woo!
I heard a rumor that you also spent your time warming up in the trophy cabinet so you could admire trophies.
As possible, whatever, Terry.
I've seen a picture of Harry Kane standing with Harry Kane had to be dragged out by security at closing time. He's like, I want to stay with the trophies, please.
Yeah. I'm sorry, was he even there?
Harry Kane, I don't know, bro. I don't know. No. I've been told that Lissandro Martinez's wife is running in through the wash right now. They'll drop him back off in the morning.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, thanks, Terry. No, the midfield, Højbjerg, I'm sorry, Spurs fans love a trier and everything like that. He's good, but I'm sorry, when every single game he'll pass one ball out of touch that should be going to a player. Bentancur couldn't do much. Didn't do much. But Basuma, he's one of them that if he gets time to integrate into the team, he'll be better. But he's just used a spare part. Spence again, not used. We were 2-0 down away to Man United, and you wait till the 80+ minute or 82nd, 83rd minute to make a substitute. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? It's ridiculous. How can you do that? You're meant to be trying to get points away from home, compete with the big teams, be in a Champions League, push for, not saying push for, but push higher than fourth we get last season. And you do that type. I'm sorry, that is 100% Conte's fault. And obviously the players didn't do themselves any justice or that. But for me, Conte is to completely blame. I'm not saying out, but he cannot go anymore to away to any other game and just camp 8 people plus a keeper in your 18-yard box. You cannot do that. If we do that, what I've been saying is you've restricted teams to shooting from 35 yards out because you've contained it. When you sit that far back and enable teams to come at you and shoot like that, you saw Ben Davies' instant reaction is, I've got to block this because we take on so many shots, which led to your first goal. If he hadn't have moved, going to Lloris, and you only that compounds the fact how bad we're playing because defenders now thinking I've got to block everything because we're taking on so many shots, and it just leads to worse and worse like defensive performances and team performances like that. For me, it's just absolutely pathetic. Conte takes the blame. A lot of them players were not up for it and everything like that. And when you enable a team like Man United, your players go on the front foot, they're just going to take you apart like they did to us. So fair play, you won that. But for me, Conte has to take the blame for this.
And I can also just let everyone know that I did not ask or pay Alan to say this. This is a Tottenham fan with another difference of opinion tonight on the Football Terrace Live. Al, listen, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and expressing yourself to the audience. Top man for waiting, and I'll chat to you again soon. Thank you very much indeed. He's not an happy boy, is he?
No, he's not.
I think as well, I'm going to say this about Alan. I think Alan said what every other Spurs fan wanted to say, but they're not ready to say it yet.
Yeah.
And equally, this is the crazy thing. You don't need to be Conte out to say Conte did a bad job. You don't need to be, if Arteta has a bad weekend and you lose and he makes mistakes, you're allowed to say he had a bad weekend. Although I say fans are allowed to be reactionary, at the same time, that doesn't mean polarized.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean binary. Reactionary can just be, I'm annoyed at the moment. I'm going to shout about some of my players. In an hour's time, you calm down and say, I love you again. It's like fighting with your siblings. I don't know about anyone else who's got brothers or sisters, but me and my brothers have had punch-ups. And half an hour later, been in the pub having a drink, laughing and joking like it didn't happen. Yeah. I kind of feel that's how I am in my football club, barring the Glazers, of course. Exactly. Next on the show, Jinky's here with us. Been waiting a long time. I really appreciate it, bro. Big win for Man United. You've barely been on it with wins, actually, of late. But big win for us tonight, brother. What you saying?
Yeah, we got to be humble sometimes. That's the thing. And just want to just see how it's going. But no, I'm listening to Tottenham fans. They're having a madness tonight. I want to know, because they keep moaning about Conte and all these players, and it's a disgrace. Look at that bench. Like, let's be real. Other than Lucas Moura, who really is going to hurt Manchester United today? Ten Hag done Conte. It was a brilliant performance from a team. It was, from a game point of view, a tactical genius on Ten Hag's part. So yeah, it's going to make Spurs look pretty poor. I'm not too sure what Spurs can actually do, filling it around. What they change it 4-3-3? It's weird. Spurs fans need to stay quiet because they've got a good thing in Conte. Conte's still a top manager, and I'll tell you what, if he goes, who are they going to have? But you know what? I say sack him, because top four, that's easier for us then, as far as I'm concerned.
It's actually true. If he goes, top four becomes an open race. It really does. In terms of Man United, how impressed have you been with the progression of the team this season for what most would call the best performance in probably 12 plus months now for the club?
Look, what I'm liking with Ten Hag, and I think this is a bit understated. It's the manner of the wins and performances. It's not like we're just smashing teams every single week. We beat teams on counters. We've played ugly. We've seen the best part of it, which is tonight. Still going to factor perhaps Spurs tax into it, but look, I've been quietly impressed. Once you get past all the social media noise with Man United, he's not actually doing a bad job. And look, it has been ugly, but there's a lot to be said about teams who do win ugly. There used to be a time saying that it was champions, and I'm not saying Man United are that. We're far away from that, but we are looking competitive. And I've got to say, Sunday against Chelsea's, I'll tell you what, it's looking good. That's looking very, very tasty, because you've got two teams actually who, look, people don't want to shout about Ten Hag, and people don't really want to shout about Potter, but Potter's actually done a good job. I'm not scared of Sterling, but you've got Aubameyang still.
Yeah, listen. I think this is going to be a really interesting test, because it's the second time we go away to a top six rival. City are just a different breed, and we got caught cold, and they ruined us. We're not ready for a team like them as of yet. But this will be our biggest test outside of that, and I think it's a nice acid test for Man United. You need to go there and walk away with a point. The good performance. I honestly would be happy at this stage of our kind of development and where we are. So for me, it's going to be a real interesting one this weekend. And Bruno returning to his best tonight, in terms of his overall play, the goal, more of the same, I suppose you want to see now from him in that way.
Yeah, look, the whole team has been brilliant. And in some ways, considering the slander that the players been getting, it's good to see Fred and Bruno have a really good performance. But huge shout out to Casemiro. The man has dark arts. Do you know what I mean? We're not surprised, but it's just those certain tackles, the fires that he puts out, and that's the thing. You don't realize it because he just sees it. He reads the danger so quickly, and that's perhaps what's been missing. Is that Nous when it was McTominay and Fred? You've now got that experience on there, and he's now adjusted to the pace of the game. So, as I said after that Arsenal game, we're going to have to rely on the Casemiros. When the pressure comes in, this was a pressure game. Don't forget, United did draw against Newcastle. If we drew again, that really puts us in a problem. So that's really good to see. I'm hoping His Majesty, and I'm going to call him His Majesty because I don't want to talk about his real name. He likes to storm off down tunnels. I don't think the story's over for him, but it will come. It'll come. There's still more games to come. My issue is we are better without him. All we have to do is to see what we did before the season before he turned up. The amount of goals that we scored, it was more of a team. Under Ollie, and what we're seeing again is we're a team. We've got a really settled back defense. We've got a hard working midfield, because let's be honest, we've had McTominay now have a good phase. We're seeing Fred possibly having a good phase. Casemiro is. We've had Eriksen getting a lot of plaudits. So I can't think of a time when our midfield's actually been getting consistent praises, as a whole.
No, I agree, and I think with Man United, partnerships are forming.
Yeah,
which is great. And then on top of that, I look at the Malacia-Shaw situation. Shaw got dropped for being poor. Malacia came in, started doing well, and then had 2 or 3 bad games on the bounce, got dropped for Shaw. Shaw looks trim. Shaw's working hard. Shaw's now playing back to what he was doing 2 years ago, where he was one of the best left backs in the league, when he played for England, and he's looking good. And it's because Ten Hag has created a dressing room where you are picked based on meritocracy, not because you were a £30 million signing, not because you are on paper the best left back. And when that gets through the dressing room, that you have to perform to stay in this team, you may only get a handful of opportunities. That's when you become a better football inside. And that for me has been one of the most impressive elements of Erik Ten Hag. It's been missing for a decade at the biggest club in England and one of the biggest clubs in the world, which is one of the biggest shams. Beyond wasting money on players and the roof leaking and dividends, the fact that we've not been picking our teams for a long time based on how well you're playing is madness to me. Jadon Sancho dropped for not tracking back after he helped give the ball away against Ammonia. Dropped, come back on the bench the following game, came in and played hard. Today, he's tracking back in the 87th minute, defending. He's learned his lesson. And for me, that's what I want to see from my players, irrespective of goals and assists and creativity. You work hard, you run hard. And if you don't play well, you expect to be dropped, and you come back and work even harder to get back into the side. So you're absolutely right. The team is being created slowly but surely, baby steps. But you can see those green shoots of hope, no doubt.
I think when it comes to scoring goals, that still is a problem for Man United. Because let's not forget, the difference between the Newcastle game and this game is a Fred deflection. So, Lloris was having the game of his life. He made some terrific saves. And we could have won that 4-5-0, to be honest, if it wasn't for him. So there was still an element of luck that, and once Man United are 1-0 up, we come into our own, because we're probably one of the best counter-attacking teams, in Europe.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
I completely agree. Jinky, listen, mate, great breakdown of the game, my friend. Really appreciate you coming on and having your say. Top man, we'll chat again soon.
I'll be back soon, bro.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Bye-bye. Sunshine's with us now. Big Man United fan. Keep hitting that like button and subscribing to the Terrace as well. What you saying, Sunshine?
I'm good, man. How you getting on?
I'm good. Oh, look at that. Little, who's that on your lap?
Oh, little man. Little mellow. I think he wants to go now. He's going on. He's big one.
There we
He's
go.
been lazy all day, man.
Big win tonight. Big win. What you saying, bro?
I'm ecstatic, bro. For the first time in my life, I actually saw a performance with dominance for 90 minutes. Like, we were getting wins under Ollie, and we were scraping through, and certain players were stat padding to the nth degree, and it was papering over so many cracks. I remember sitting there saying, "This is not sustainable. I can't play football like this. I can't see my team play football like this, expecting to go and dominate 38 games this season. I can't see that. Where's the progression?" Tonight, and I said this just before the preview, before the game started, in a preview space, that the next step for me is to see Ten Hag have his team dominate for one. After dominating, going to get the result and looking like you've just absolutely murdered the other team where they couldn't even play football. I've not seen that in 2-3 years, in my opinion, of football. And for me, that for me is a significant moment of our season. I think it will be a massive, significant part of our season in terms of going for top 4 and potentially even going on a good Europa League cup run. Chelsea is next. It doesn't get any easier, but I don't want it to at this stage. I do want to see that next level from the team. If any Man United fan is out there appreciating what Ten Hag is doing and appreciates the standards that Manchester United are accustomed to and the ones that our rival fans are holding us to as well, then you'd want to see another performance like that, even better, where we're dominating Chelsea, because that's what Manchester United should be doing. And for a very long time, we've not been in a position where we can confidently say with full chest that we could potentially have 2 games on the run that has a hint of what our history and legacy stands for. I haven't seen that, as I said, for a very long time. Ten Hag is definitely the right man. Again, even if he lost his next 5 games, I wouldn't give a shit, I'll be honest. He's definitely the right man. His principles, his mannerisms, the standards that he has for himself has clearly been set through the team. and I absolutely love to finish on. I absolutely love the comment on Ronaldo. It was a case of, yeah, we'll deal with that. That'll be dealt with tomorrow. Whenever he said it was just focused on the team winning and the great performance. So I'm buzzing, Terry. I am. It's a relief for me personally because.
Sorry.
Go on, bro. Go.
I totally agree with you. And I'm sort of sitting there listening to you. And I was writing some notes just down what you were saying because I didn't want to forget it. I feel exactly the same in the sense of this team is being built upon meritocracy, hard work, and togetherness. And that foundation has been laid. And I still think there's more that needs to be done around it. But what you're now starting to see are the performances come through. So there's going to be anomalies. We're going to have still going to have a number of games this year where we look poor again. That's what happens. That will be the case until his squad is completely built. But I know that the Europa League games against average teams, but we should have. How we didn't score more goals against Ammonia is crazy. Should have scored 6 or 7. But I said after that game and after the Newcastle game and today, even though we won, I'd rather play like we did today and the final piece of the jigsaw be we've got to score than how we were playing under Oli, how we were playing under Jose, and to a degree, how we were even playing under LVG. Because under LVG, we had the ball, but we weren't creating the opportunities and chances. It was just dull. Today was entertaining. We just didn't have the goals there. And for me, you can see a foundation, you can see a base, you can see where we're going to move, and the styles coming through, the systems, the patterns that everybody's been asking for. And I think that he will get a lot more faith from these fans. And what I think you'll get more of is more people putting pressure in the right place, which is the Glazers, to invest, ensure that the right contracts are renewed, the right players are sold, and the manager is fully backed, because we're going to get from the manager exactly what we want. And like you just said there, I'm not talking about Ronaldo tonight. I'll deal with it tomorrow. That's exactly the right attitude, because the manager wants the praise to be on Bruno, on Casemiro, on all these players tonight. De Gea, although De Gea's save, it didn't really matter because it was offside. He didn't know that. We went and scored. Like, all of that is what we should be focused on as Man United fans, and let the backroom start, but let the board deal with the idiots. Let the board deal with the insubordinate players and allow the manager to do his job properly. And if we do that, mate, I think we'll have many more proud nights, hopefully, because it's been a long time since we felt proud about our club.
100%. It's been again, and then I know it's not the last game of the season, but I know fans like yourself, Terry, you're very, very critical, and you're very open to every other factor that can go into Manchester United being great again. So for people like yourself, I'm me and many other fans who are alike mindset wise, to feel a level of relief knowing that you can count out so many of the factors that were getting papered over is a great place to be. And I think that clinical edge up front is definitely something that obviously Ten Hag wanted, in terms of, especially when he knew Ronaldo was leaving or wanted to leave, and we haven't been able to get that. Do we get it in January is my big question. 2 factors for me, maybe 3. If the World Cup goes well, there may be a hidden gem within that. If it is a case of there are players that we're already targeting already that do have a good World Cup, that's an extra expense. Does that price tag then put us out of getting a decent striker of what we need? And then do we go 6 months with no striker, no signing? No, we've only got Ronaldo and injured Martial, potentially injured Martial for the rest of the season, depending on whatever injury he's going to have next. Does that then, shoot our chances of top 4 and potentially European progress? Because if we're progressing at this rate, performance-wise, it has to be sustainable. There has to be a level of consistency, and you can't do it with just 18 players. 12, 13 of those players arguably still aren't consistent enough or going to be for the whole season. So January can't come sooner, but we do need a striker.
We need it. We were saying during the game, didn't we? Like, United need a killer. We need it. We win that Newcastle game with a killer up front. If Haaland's our striker in that game, he scores that header at the end as an example. Yeah. He scores Rashford's chances today. They were great Lloris saves, but we just need someone who's better in those positions for me. But listen, Sunshine, always a pleasure to speak, bro. It always, bro. We'll chat again soon. Top
One
man.
more thing, Terry. People, can you please respect Fred Davids for 24 hours? That's all I want. That's it. Big ups, man. I'm going.
Cheers, bro. Take care, mate. Thank you. This super chat said Arteta won the FA Cup and Community Shield in his first year with the team, who finished 8th. there's levels to this game. Clearly, in response to the Conte debate you had earlier with Orchi. I want to thank every massively long show tonight. As we took some Chelsea calls, Liverpool calls, and there was lots to digest and go through. I've got a long journey home, so smash the like button before you leave. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in, our super chatters, our members, our viewers, subscribers. Jess, absolutely fantastic as ever. My callers, you're amazing. KJ backstage. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And remember,